How's it going, Internet? Well, I'm sure you've heard about the recent NSA surveillance scandal. The impression I've gathered from my peers is who cares? I've got nothing to hide. I don't really care if they make a profile on me. And I feel this springs from not really understanding the extent at which the surveillance is taking place. I'm going to talk briefly on this surveillance and how it affects Canadians. Also some tips to remain safe from the surveillance. While data gathering from companies like Google and Facebook have been occurring in the public eye for quite some time, there's been no pressing issues to really worry about. Who cares if these companies have data on you? I mean, it'll allow them to more accurately advertise to you. Big deal. This is almost a good thing. Well, the problem I see is by combining data from all these services, the NSA can paint a very accurate picture of you to a very scary degree. Think about everything you've ever Googled. Now add in all your Facebook information, your YouTube information, your private emails, your online transactions like PayPal, and even every file on your computer. It's starting to get pretty scary. Also, now throw in your smartphone, all your smartphone text messages and calls, and you can see that the NSA really knows everything about a majority of the world. A big thing that most people have been thinking is that since it's the NSA, this is a problem that the Americans have to worry about. It's not really an international issue. Well, a majority of these internet services are hosted and their data is stored on American soil. Due to the Patriot Act, the NSA is privy to this information, which means that us Canadians are very vulnerable to this. American citizens are somewhat protected by the Bill of Rights, which us foreigners are not privy to. This means that the NSA has unrestricted access to all of what I mentioned. So while it may seem like an American problem, it's clearly an international intrusion of privacy. Now, while you can never remain completely safe against this, because some services like Facebook, which all my friends are on, so it's kind of hard to avoid, Gmail, which is the best email client, and Chrome, which is, I find, the best browser, are very hard to replace. So there's going to be some information that these companies can get on you no matter what, but there are some things you can do to make your profile slightly less refined. So the most important thing you can do to protect yourself against surveillance is use a free open source operating system like Linux. Windows and Apple both gather data on you, which they store in their databases, and will only help companies like the NSA produce a more refined profile on you. I'd recommend Linux Mint for a beginner user, as it's very user-friendly, and Windows and Mac users can come over with very little learning curve. But some Linux operating systems So Google being so you can use DuckDuckGo as opposed to Google, and you'll notice that it doesn't track any of your search queries. And the search results are pretty good, but personally I find them a little bit ugly and they could use some improvement, but there are alternatives like Startpage. Startpage sends your query to Google, and then to Startpage, then to Google, then back to Startpage, and then back to you. And you'll notice here in the details they don't keep track of any private information at all. So you're completely anonymous when you're doing this, and you're getting the exact results that Google would give you. So let's have a look at what these results look like. So you'll see here, these are the exact results that you'll have if you just use Google. So let's go over to Google and do the exact same search. And you'll notice that with the GPS tracking aside, it's the exact same thing. The results are the exact same. So an alternative to Microsoft Office is LibreOffice, and it provides complete compatibility with all Office files. It's open source and has no monitoring included whatsoever. I actually have it installed here, and you'll note that it has everything you could need. It has spreadsheets, it has PowerPoints, and it has Word duplicate. And when you actually open it up, you can see that it's very similar. It has all the functionality you could ever want from Word. So I would recommend using this as opposed to Office, not only because it's free, but it is also open source and has no monitoring. So as I mentioned earlier, I like to use Google as my browser, and it lets you have extensions to keep yourself safe from Google and other companies which would like to monitor your online activities. So the first extension I'll show here is called HTTPS Everywhere. If you ever notice on secure websites, that's what the S stands for, like credit card, when you put your credit card in or passwords in, generally it'll have an HTTPS address, which means that your browsing session is encrypted, so that no one can, even if they saw what you're doing, they wouldn't understand it. So this forces it on all websites where it's available, so it's pretty useful. The second extension I use is called AdBlock. So it blocks ads, which is pretty nice, you don't see annoying ads, but also sometimes ads are malicious, and if you click on them, they'll redirect you to a site that has viruses or spyware, or monitors you. So that's useful for two reasons. The third browser extension I use is called Ghostery. Now this one's very interesting. On most websites you go to, there's analytic JavaScript files that report back to other websites indicating that you viewed this website and information about you. So Ghostery blocks these, but the website still works completely fine. So there's no reason not to use this one. It'll help you out a lot. And the last one is Facebook Disconnect. So if you ever see those like buttons on random websites you go to, well, Facebook knows you were there, and this protects you from Facebook gathering data on you when you're just visiting random websites. So that's how I keep myself safe using Chrome.